With all the rainwater Clark County receives, managing rainwater runoff on your small acreage property can be a challenge. A little water makes a lot of mud. While it is difficult to completely eliminate mud, you can reduce it. There are several different practices you can use to manage runoff on your property. Rainwater and roof runoff draining through livestock areas, pastures, or across bare soil can pick up particles of soil and manure. Eroding soil and the nutrients in manure can be transported to nearby water bodies where they degrade stream health and habitat for fish and wildlife. Nutrients and other contaminants in manure can also make their way into nearby wells that supply drinking water for you and your family. Several methods are available to collect and divert rainwater before it reaches pastures, livestock turnouts, and entryways. We will visit with 2 landowners today to see how they have successfully used some of these techniques to manage rainwater and reduce mud on their properties. Installing and properly maintaining gutters and downspouts on your home and outbuildings provides a simple and effective way to collect and divert rainwater, thus reducing mud and keeping water clean.
So we have these rain barrels around the property, and typically what we've done is we run the water from the downspouts of the building into the rain barrel.
The Svensson 60-foot by 120-foot horse arena produces over 160,000 gallons of runoff a year. Gutters on the outside of the arena collect and divert rainwater to interior downspouts placed at intervals along the inside walls. By putting the downspouts on the inside of the arena, they are protected from curious horses that might damage them. These drain to the buried pipe and carry the water to the nearby stock pond, which is fenced off from horse access. Once rainwater is collected, it can be diverted into French drains. These are shallow trenches with a perforated plastic pipe surrounded by gravel and lined with weed cloth or geotextile cloth. The trench is lined with cloth and wrapped over the top of the gravel to prevent soil from clogging the drain. French drains can be used to collect water from downspouts and divert it away from barns and outbuildings. French drains can also be used to intercept water flowing across a slope. Rain barrels provide a way to collect and use roof runoff to water landscaping plants around your home. By collecting rainwater in rain barrels, this keeps it from pooling around barns and other outbuildings, creating mud.
And so what do you use the water in the rain barrel for?
It could be like backup water in case the pump goes out, and we use it for like the plants. And it's like basically just usual water.
Protecting wetlands and/or streams from livestock keeps water clean from manure and mud.
Here we have a small area that we've fenced off. And really turning into more of a natural wetlands area.
So believe it or not, there's a small spring running through these weeds here, and it was kind of an issue when we were looking at how to protect the water temperature. We had a tour through here in the middle of winter. There were no weeds, and there was a little bit of talk about too much exposure of the water to the sunlight and that it was going to be warming up. In the summertime, the weeds, the natural vegetation just absolutely takes over, and you can't even see the water here. We have planted some native vegetation, Nootka roses and wild currants, to try and bring the shade over it, but it's also on the north side of a hill, so it's not too big of an issue. We've added a little bit of berm along here, so the rainwater is going to roll away from the spring and just kind of keep it cleaner. We keep this whole hillside that's just a road access down to the horse turnouts picked up. There's no manure on the ground, and very little chance of contamination of the water supply. When we first moved here, there had been cattle running on the place for 75 years, and they ran in and out and broke the hillside down. We came in and put in a fence and then added some wire, and then the horses pushed on it, so we added some electric fence. It's not real pretty, but it does keep them out of the water. This is a stock pond that was actually excavated on the place probably back in 1890. They had their cattle out here, so we've just treated it as a natural pond, and all of the spring water runs down the hill into this, but also the guttering system from the barn.
Another practice that decreases mud involves building up the soil surface with footing material, allowing rainwater to drain through, yet providing a barrier from mud underneath.
So this area here is a set of stalls that we use for quarantine animals that come in from the outside, and we basically leave them here for a little while. So what was happening is it was so intensively used for short periods of time that, especially during the winter, we had a lot of mud that was getting to be a real problem. So what we did is actually put in a road fabric, a layer of road fabric, and then a base of coarse rock, about 3 inches in diameter typically, and then a layer of smaller gravel, probably 3/4 minus on top of that. And it's really done a great job of helping keep the mud managed and keep this area dry and healthier environment for the animals.
Considerations when selecting footing material include: is it a suitable surface for my animals and property? Is it a safe surface for my animals to run, stand, and lay down on? Can I easily pick manure from the footing material? And finally, what is the availability and cost? Each type of footing has advantages and disadvantages, so it pays to spend some time researching and selecting what works best for your situation. To get more tips, ideas, and suggestions for managing your small acreage property, contact the Small Acreage Program at 360-397-6060, extension 7720. The Small Acreage Program is a partnership between Washington State University, Clark County Extension, and the Clark County Clean Water Program.